Hi everybody, today we're adding some lights to our new powerhouse.
We call it a new powerhouse. We really built it like a year ago. This is one of our favorite structures on our layout, right?
Yep.
But it sits in part of our layout that we just haven't gotten around to running a whole lot of power to, but we're just starting to get there. It's like a whole city block that needs lights. So we're just gonna start out with getting some lights added to our layout. Something we've been doing lately is messing around with fiber optic strands. So Dad went on Amazon, and I found this was kind of the cheapest way of doing it. I got some 0.75 millimeter, which I kind of find out that that's a little bit smaller than most things, but it does make a nice light bulb, like in the corner or whatever, but it doesn't add a ton of light. So that's N-Glow. And then inside here, I have some Side Glow 2 millimeter, which actually the 2 millimeter didn't seem like it was that great on the Side Glow. So I bought some 1.5 millimeter, and it's a little bit better, but it's very, very faint with the kind of bulbs we're using. Plus we're only using 4.5 volts because that's what most of our signs go off of. And then we are going to try for the first time using a breadboard on our layout. Dad hasn't used a breadboard since his high school days, but we're going to show the boy how to do it. And then, in order to hold all the fiber optic in place, found some latex 3 millimeter ID by 6 millimeter OD tube. So we got all this on Amazon, and then to power it all on our bench, we have an adjustable power pack wall wart. Right now it's set at 4.5 volts. We can make everything brighter because the bulbs we use are 3 to 12 volts, but I think too bright has been an issue for some of our night lighting. We like to add some softer lighting to some of our buildings. So we're gonna mess around with optic strands. Are you ready today, buddy?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, let's do it. Well, here is the back of our powerhouse, the back side. And we have some strands that we already kind of cut to size the other day. We were messing around with some warm lighting, but we think we like the cool bulbs. And out of that big roll, all you need, we just cut something like 3/4 of an inch of that black tubing. Okay. And then if we look inside of here, it's on this side. We're gonna flip it around. Dad spent some time already. We strung some fiber optic 1.5 millimeter through some plastic tubes, and that'll give us a bit of an even glow throughout the building. So we did all that, and then Dad actually used a little bit of conductive copper tape, and then we have a 5 millimeter bulb which the 3 millimeter tube will stretch over. Okay, so let's go ahead. Can you grab that power cord, buddy? Okay, we're going to plug it into our breadboard. Red positive, black negative. I think we're gonna, just for testing with this part, because we're gonna have a mess of wires everywhere until we figure out how to hide them while we're getting our whole city lit. Okay. Dad wishes he made a little bit longer cord on our power adapter, but that's okay. So once we plug these in, and this is a solderless breadboard. There we go. We have light on our bulb. So it's that simple. You've already done a little bit of soldering with me, right? But we keep the soldering down to a minimum just because too much soldering, it's actually like not really good for a kid. We do have good ventilation, but I think we can do a lot by doing this. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try sticking that on that bulb very carefully. I think, can you handle doing that, you think, buddy?
Right.
Yeah, you gotta hold the bulb itself so you don't rip it off the copper tape. And then go ahead and slide the rubber over that so that the bulb is fully concealed, but you have a nice boot for all the fiber optic to slide on. Is it going on? Okay. Let's cover the bulb entirely. You're almost there. We'll just make sure it's on there so it doesn't slip off, because I think for now we're not going to actually glue anything into place. Okay, so we got it. So you see it just the light in there, and then what we're going to do is just start putting our tubes in there. As you just put a couple in there, it's going to have a hard time staying, but we'll go ahead, and I think what we're going to do is take some of our strands. We drilled a bunch of tiny holes. So for the 2mm, I drilled a 2mm hole. For some 0.75mm, we drilled 0.75mm holes. And then we did some doors over here. Around our door, there's a couple holes. Okay, so you're going to start fishing that stuff through our holes. And I don't think we need to record this whole process. I think everybody's got the concept. So we're just going to go to work for a little bit. Does that sound good?
Yep.
All right. We'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so we're still plugged into our breadboard. This is power in, power out. We ran all our strands in there, okay? So that's our strands inside. You can see that 1.5 side glow. It's a little bright in here, so it's hard to see the full effect. But we have some of these that are quite a bit long still. These are just supposed to be flush mounted bulbs. So I think what we're going to do, see, it's kind of hard to see the light on film because it's brighter in here, but you'll see it at night. And then this one is actually supposed to be flush mount to that wall. So I think this is all kind of good. We'll cut them down short so there's not a lot of tightness in here. Later on, we may decide we want to add one like green bulb in there, so that very up at the top there's just one green light that you see from the outside. Okay, what do you think, buddy? So we'll go ahead and we'll kind of cut some of this off, I think. You want to do that? Okay, so let me get some cutters. So don't cut it entirely flush, you know, stop a little bit, don't scratch our building, right? So go ahead and take your time and cut those down. This one I don't even think we need to cut. I think we just push it flush. That one looks good. Cut a little bit off of these, that way it's not putting a ton of tension.
Like that.
Go up a little higher so you're not scratching the building. So at night, you'll see this guy. It's a very faint light. A lot of times with model railroading, at night you'll see this guy walking up to the door and he'll be illuminated slightly. What do you think? You liking it so far? I like it. We're going to mess with this a little bit just to see if we can get some even lighting. Then we got another building over there, which we're going to plug into the breadboard too, and then we'll put it on our layout. We have an entire city block to do like this. So we can go back and we can add some things. Maybe we have room to solder some flashing light bulbs for the top of our stacks. We'll check it out. We have this other building that we worked on. It was the first time we really messed with optic strands. We actually made some floors in there. You can see there's some people in there. So we have a couple bulbs in there and a ton of optic strands. So we could actually, there's no real good side glow in there. Everything is just from the back. So we go ahead and plug that in, buddy. Go red to red and whatever. Go ahead and plug that back in. And then we'll put it on our layout, and then once nighttime falls, we'll see how these buildings really look. So now, on that city block, we have two buildings that have light. You see some really good glow, but that's actually not the lighting. That's just from the window up above. But it'll be a softer glow at night. We may decide to add like a green bulb up top so that it just kind of shines green. We'll see. You want to go put this on our layout, buddy? It's a little dark down there, so maybe we'll see how it looks, and then we'll run tonight. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so we're down in our train room, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So everything else is pretty lit up. We tried out our buildings. There's still a little bit of daylight. We get some sun that comes down here, so it's kind of hard to tell the full effect. But here's the one building that's plugged into the breadboard. We have a breadboard hidden back there. A lot of work that's got to happen back here. So we looked at it, and I think that the glow that we get from the fiber optic running through is actually pretty neat. We actually get them up in the upper windows, up here, And then back there, okay, there's our little side lights. But I think because of this building and all the signs here in our American Hardware Supply building, I think that we don't get the full effect of those upper powerhouse windows. What do you think, buddy? I think since it is kind of the holidays, it'd be kind of cool to just put one green bulb that just kind of accents those powerhouse windows. What do you think? So let's take it back to our bench and we'll solder in a light onto our copper tape and we'll get to work. Does that sound like a plan? All right, let's do it. So this area is kind of hard to reach, so that's kind of why we're doing the breadboard thing. We can get to everything. Eventually, I think once this is all lit up with soft lighting, it's going to look really neat. It'll offset the brightness of the City of Hope, which we like it, but I think we need to soften things up a little bit down here. Okay, so that same set of tape contacts, we just soldered a green bulb up there, and we'll see if we like our lighting effect better. Alright, so we're back down here. Added a green light to our powerhouse. You know what? I think it looks pretty good, just that one bulb. Kind of got the glow of all the optic lighting up the other windows. And then that one single green bulb really makes our powerhouse cool. The cool thing is that spotlight off the back, it lights off. We can start to see what'll happen for reflections. And then there's our second building. So there we go. What do you think, man? You like that?
Yes.
I think that turned out pretty good. Our city's gonna really look good. So, using a little bit of fiber optics, we're able to add some nice little street lights and door lights and things like that. We're probably going to add a lot more to this as time goes on, but you can only do a little bit at a time. And then here's our other building. We're thinking that this eventually is going to be like a little art gallery. Then our library's still dark. Our courthouse is still dark. You can see some police activity there. Okay. What do you think, man? Yeah, I'm pretty happy. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.